Hey there, folks. Welcome back to CYPTV. Do me a favor, share, like, subscribe, and most important, comment. Now let's jump right into the videos.
Взяли вот хвостик и пополам, и крепко держим, вот так. Теперь вот так. Хопа!
Oh, wow. That's a neat trick.
And when I rub the handles, the friction between my hands and those handles causes the entire bowl to vibrate.
Yeah, so many people in real life.
Oh my gosh. Whoa.
Just a friendly reminder, the Russian president, Vladimir Putin, said this: "The world elite are not humans, but cold-blooded hybrids." I'll let you interpret that however you like. As always, thank you for watching.
Now, it's either he knows or he's one of them himself. That bull is not letting up. Oh, wow. Oh, that's a big pit.
No, you gotta give that to the SCP Foundation because that is a specimen in there. How do you let it get that bad? Like, there's like 5 different types of mold and they're all like alive and it's gonna be The Last of Us. The show in the game, you know? It's people like you that I don't trust.
Ебать, в рот! Да ну нахуй! А, блядь! Ебать! Да ну нахуй! Ёбаный! Зеркало нам снесли только. Ой, блядь! Мое дело здесь. Слышь!
What in the world is that? Things are getting scary up there, huh?
Really? You think I'm a vampire?
She's kind of giving those vibes, huh? She kind of looked like a vamp.
You guys know this hack where... Oh, shit, let me get the remote really quick. Huh? Oh, keys. Oh, there's the remote. Got it. Go. Go.
So I'm in my hotel room and I'm on the floor under the sink cleaning up and I decide to look up. Oh my fucking god. What the fuck? What the fuck? Oh my god. What the fuck? Oh my god. Dad? We're gonna have to figure out who was in this room with their dad. This is insane. Oh my god. Dad. Help. Oh my god. So I called the police. They are on the way out here. I guess I'll let y'all know if anybody cares what happens or what they decide to do.
This right
I'm glad she called the cops. I hope they figure that out. It's terrible. Locking a kid in something like that, a cabinet. Come on.
here shows you that America's about to go into recession, okay? When they start calling drinks like this orange, it don't even have a name. It's about to be a recession. This is America is being liquidated liquids. These are recession beverages. They're letting you know off top. Go on and get your recession beverage so you can tell your kids, we ain't got Coca-Cola at home. We have kind of flavored water and it's named orange or red at home. That's what you got. That's what you got. Recession beverages.
If you enjoy content like this, I put out several videos a week. It would be amazing if you hit the subscribe button and join me in the next video. Ghosts is vacuuming.
Vídeo de hoje.
Why is Wendy Williams bugging out like that? Can somebody tell me in the comments what's going on, bro?
CDs, find where they came from.
Money!
Overall, finding this isn't necessarily the biggest deal. It's more gross than bad, but if it's by your drinking water, then you should be concerned. This is a video that was sent to me through Instagram DM. I'm not too sure where this person is, but it looks like a basement, and in it, we can see they've discovered this gross red-looking blob. And the cameraman gets closer, and it kind of looks like Carnage, the symbiote. But these are actually completely normal. They're called tubifex worms. Generally speaking, and directly, tubifex worms are not actually harmful. However, they're a sign that water quality where they're at is poor. They're found in water sources with low oxygen content, decaying organic matter, generally dirty water, and sometimes even in sewage. So if you find tubifex worms in your basement or some other residential facility, you should probably figure out the body of water that they're living in, and hopefully it's not your drink.
Never understand how you can see a group of people that look like this and say, let's go talk to them. Like, it couldn't be more obvious that they don't want to be messed with. Like, bro, it's 2025 and there's still people walking around with these and they surviving. Anybody that can survive at this time with a bow and arrow, leave him alone. They got to be shooting that shit with maximum efficiency. They never miss. Like, bro, these type of tribes have never seen a camera a day in their life, and then we go over there with a big old camera trying to talk to them. You're done. Say goodbye. Imagine never interacting with no other type of person except for that look like this. And the first time you see them, you don't understand nothing they say and they got a big old camera. Bro, it's over with. Bro, he has a score on his head. Who is he even praying to? And I know everybody be seeing the videos of them people going to talk to people like this and they never come back. I know y'all remember that time that man went missing, bro. But at the same time, you go messing with some people that look like this, you asking to go missing, bro. Like, what could you possibly think have came from you going to go talk to some people that look like this, bro? I ain't gonna lie, that's tough. I'm staying away from it.
Oh, wow.
All I remember is looking up and the whole sky was blocked out. I was trapped underwater for about 14 seconds and there was nothing I could do. I was trying to work out how I'm going to get out of it. My leash, which I was tangled in, broke, which allowed me to come up and get air. I was probably 1 or 2 seconds away from tapping out and just saying, I'm gone. I was telling my two mates that I was out with, you know, I've just been hit by a whale, and they've just gone, yeah, sure, whatever. And then I packed my stuff up and came home and my phone started going off. A guy having his morning coffee caught the incident and posted it on social media and said, can anyone tell me if he's alive?
Wow.
From there, it sort of took off. And my two mates totally turned around and went, geez, sorry.
I'm here to tell you right now, they're messing around, dude. And every time a large earthquake hits, my internet's off. It's happened 3 times this week. And you can't say that earlier this week it was from, you know, a loose connection or something like that, because at that time, I was on my cell phone, on my mobile hotspot. I had to get onto my cell phone mobile hotspot because my landline and Starlink were off. And yes, I tried turning Starlink back on 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, I tried turning Starlink back on, and same thing. So, I mean, it's not like it was just a one-off event. It's literally I was either blocked from using Starlink or they have disabled the routers. Both of them. So, I mean, and I just spent $300 on that new Starlink router. I bought their Gen 3 router or whatever. Yeah. Took me to the cleaners, right?
Heads on tables everywhere in the markets.
Heads?
Oh yeah, piles of.
Why were the heads on tables?
It's voodoo, man. It's West Africa. It is like hardcore.
Do you see that happening
every day?
What is it? I mean, you saw.
Yeah.
What?
I'd love to have you believe that this type of stuff only happens in movies, but this guy's telling you his experience of what happened and what he saw in Liberia. And also, don't ever think that this stuff doesn't happen in the West. They're banging to this, whether you want to call it witchcraft or voodoo. It's all the same evil, just different names. You know, they do these rituals and these evil things because they believe it generates power for themselves. And it's been going on since the dawn of time. I have no idea why anyone would ever want to do something like that just to gain power. But you know, I don't think like these demons, because they'll just do anything they can.
Man, remember hear about like this black car, this black trailer thing?
I was watching this documentary today. It's a new James Fox documentary about a UFO landing in Brazil in 1996. Holy shit, it's incredible. I had no idea that there's a city called Varginha in Brazil. And in 1996, according to everyone who was there, according to medical records of people who were there, they blocked off, the military came in, cordoned off the area. They recovered a crashed UFO. And there was living creatures that people came in contact with. And one of them was this tiny little thing that this guy carried. And he carried it to wherever they were going to examine it. And when he carried it, he got whatever was on its skin. It had like a slippery kind of skin. It got into his body and infected him. And he wound up with this horrible general infection. He wound up dying. His body shut down. His immune system shut down. His body didn't know what the fuck to do with this alien thing that he was interacting with. There's real records of this guy contacting this thing, grabbing it, carrying it in. All these people witnessed it. And then this guy winds up with this insane infection shortly thereafterwards. That's
exact moments as Rick was coming down to the garage to check on his cars and the elevator abruptly stopped.
The elevator shook and then froze, and water slowly started to seep in from the bottom, and water also was coming in from the top.
4-year-old Jordana and her father Bruno also inside as they work to make their way out.
I was like, okay, maybe today's the day, because I thought that if Rick would open the elevator, I thought maybe it would be like a wall.
Rick eventually got his fingers between the door and pulled.
And I knew that God was giving him some extra power.
And everyone from inside made their way out into waist-deep water.
I feel like you would have had to like swim out of the garage.
Bruno's daughter, if you were a certain height, you probably would have to swim.
They say it took about 24 hours before the water drained out of the garage, damaging almost all the cars inside.
That's my car.
Oh, that's your car.
That black car is mine.
But despite it all, Rick says he learned an important lesson.
Never ever take the elevator when there is flooding or fire. That's kind of my big lesson, or even heavy rain.
They always wanted us to think Jim Carrey from The Truman Show was crazy, so we didn't listen to the things he was actually saying. Watch this.
What happened after 1989? Why did they warranted 26 more vaccines?
Agreed.
Are all of them absolutely necessary?
Because they want to make money.
Of course.
It's twice as many as anywhere else in 30 countries in the Western world. But we give twice as many shots as any of those countries. Why is that?
Well, what are you against? Don't vaccinate for this, but vaccinate for that?
Yes.
I don't think we can afford to assume that the people who are charged with our public health have our best interests at heart all the time.
Why would a doctor not want to know more about something that could save a life or prevent a disease? I don't understand.
The AAP is financed by the drug companies. Medical schools are financed by the drug companies. This is a huge business, $13 billion.
They control medical schools.
What we're asking is for them to take a loss for the good of our children. That's a tough sell in a boardroom.
So there's this company that was funded by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
They released 50,000 genetically modified mosquitoes. For what purpose? I don't know. But now, for the first time in 20 years, malaria has entered Florida.
Hey, malaria!
Like, the conspiracy is the new mosquitoes that he introduced were supposed to kill mosquitoes that carried malaria. And so they were specifically designed to combat those diseases.
So we haven't had a case of malaria in the U.S. in over 20 years. And since they released these mosquitoes, so far from what I know, there's been 5 cases of malaria. 4 in Florida and then 1 in Texas.
A swing and a miss, Bill. A swing and a miss.
Stop messing with the bugs and stop doing all this stuff.
Quit going after the Titanic. Quit touching the mosquito.
Owns like the majority of all farmland in the
He
U.S.
owns a lot. Yeah, that's crazy.
It's like, why?
Have you heard the real conspiracy behind the mosquito thing now?
Was that not it?
No, there's another thing too that...
Oh.
Right, so that back motor should give us much better acceleration. We still do get wheel spin if we overdo it, but it's much more reliable at going forwards and backwards. That feels a lot better on the whole, a lot more responsive. But we need a bigger area to test it.
That looks like fun, right? Sign me up, I want one of those. Ghost drag though.
Alors, on vient de mettre pause au film, ça a couru à l'étage, et ça bouge de ouf. Lucas, tu vas voir.
C'est leur chelou, ça bouge sur la maison. Ça va se casser la gueule.
C'est hyper flippant.
Ça s'arrête pas, hein.
On aille voir.
What the heck?
Recently on TikTok, videos of a man who claims to be on Mars have been appearing, and it's not just another prank. And there isn't anything like what the Mars rover is showing us. His videos really make you believe he's on the red planet. You may remember this shot of the rover where the astronaut's shadow was caught on Mars. Then NASA urgently began to remove the photo from official sources, but it was already very late. So this man claims that the only rover, which is on the red planet called Perseverance, could not work without maintenance for so many years. And if you compare the NASA video and this man's video, the footage shows the same rover. But how is this even possible? The astronaut shares that it is he who maintains this rover and lives in the so-called space bunker, which was built during the mission to Mars. The most amazing thing is that it was on this rover, in its time, filmed a live fly, and this man confirms that there is actually life on Mars. The process of inexhaustible oxygen in the bunker is the same as on space stations, and the cylinders are enough for up to 5 hours of walking under the open sky on Mars. And the worst thing is to sit out Martian storms, which are dozens of times stronger than Earth's hurricanes.
Is there somebody else with you?
I think that's fake. I think that's filmed on the island with a filter on it. Let me know if y'all think that's real, because I don't.
Wow, look at you.
Look at my eyes. Look at my eyes.
Yeah. Hey! Oh, man!
I asked you if you gotta go or you gotta go downstairs or something. Wherever you're gonna go, you gotta.
Y'all, something massive just happened on the earth, y'all. And just to prove it, look at the skies of Norway, y'all. Look at this. Look at these insane auroras just lighting up the sky of. I peeped this thing over here in the skies. And when I zoomed into it, it looked like this, y'all. It looked like somebody literally cut a piece of the sky open. Y'all see that? It looks like a smoke ring as well, but it looks like somebody just cut a piece of the cloud out or the sky out. Check this out from Disney World. Y'all see this? These are not just a byproduct of solar storms. Something deeper is happening here. Y'all see, look at the colors. Look, y'all see that? It's flashing. And then y'all remember this portal that opened up all over the UK? Do y'all believe this has something to do with this? We've all seen some amazing videos of the Aurora Borealis, but nothing like this, y'all. This is breathtaking. This is literally Lisa Frank. When you think of Lisa Frank, you literally see this. The Hopi, the Norse, the indigenous tribes all across the world, they knew these lights were sacred. They knew when the sky danced, they understood that change was coming. And there's a great shift that's happening right now, right underneath their foot, y'all. And I believe sooner or later, everyone's going to see this around the world, y'all. The shift is here. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Let's continue to get it. Peace and
y'all, what did this guy catch in his backyard? The OP of this video was alerted by his son that there was something in the backyard that their dog was barking at. So the man pulls his phone out and starts recording, and you won't believe all the stuff he captures. The first thing I noticed was right here where the dog is. If you look really close, something white appears and runs through this little treehouse thing into the woods, okay? And it appears out of nowhere. Then the man continues to check the tree line for whatever the dog is barking at. And that's where this makes even less sense, because he lives on a bluff. So right there at his tree line, the ground drops off. But if you watch right here, there is something standing there. It looks to be a dark gray color, and it looks like it's covered in fur. But the weird part is, once it sees the man, it disappears. Like it jumps off the bluff. The man actually goes into the woods looking for whatever this is. And at one point you can actually see a shadow walking around in the distance. The man recording believes that there were actually multiple of these creatures out there. What do you guys think this is? Do you think this man just caught Bigfoot on camera? Let me know.
What? Look how big that is.
Always come back. Wow.
convinced there's underground cities and roads all over the
This is why
United
you should
States.
never touch jellyfish. Even after it's dead, cell structure is maintained. It can still sting you, which can cause intense pain, allergic reaction, even make you go crazy enough to jump back into the ocean with more jellyfish.
What's that sound? Can you hear it? From over there.
This cryptid here and this documentation, which a field camera was used, it was seen in an area, and a colleague of mine from a major university set up a field camera, and this is what they got. Now, this is known as a rock person or rock people. They can eat rock. They're found around cliffs, large boulders. They are real. And other colleagues of mine from some major universities, we testify that this is a real documentation. This is a rock person indeed.
The goddess of destruction.
So this is CERN at daytime. Hello, let's go. And let's zoom in. Switch to 3D. Zoom in. If you go there to CERN building 41, go over to this place here. Go on this point here. Click to this point. Now here we go. And then just turn over. You're seeing the Shiva statue, the goddess of destruction, right here at CERN. Isn't it a little bit weird? And if you want to know what they are doing at night, then you just need to take a look at my video, one below this video. Take a look at the other video below this.
The elites have secret tunnels all over the world. Check this out, y'all. This is the most random place to have a tunnel. The question is, what are they doing in these tunnels? Or where do they lead to? The elites have secret tunnels all over the world, y'all. People go missing in the forest all the time. Maybe, just maybe, they didn't get lost. I think some people actually stumble across these tunnels. They don't want us to know what's really going on, y'all. As always, thanks for watching. Stay weird. I'll see you in the next one.
People are shocked after finding out that Subway don't actually use bread for their sandwiches. Check this out. In a decision shocking to those familiar with the popular footlong at Subway, an Irish Supreme Court have ruled that Subway bread isn't actually bread. In Subway's bread recipe, sugar makes up 10% of the weight of the flour, and the law doesn't deem that as acceptable. In other words, the Irish Supreme Court found out that Subway's bread is legally closer to cake than it is actual bread. So, in other words, because Subway bread has so much sugar, technically it's actually classed as confectionery. People are even more shocked that a 6-inch sub and just the bread contains between 3 and 5 grams of sugar, and then a foot long will contain between 9 and 11 grams of sugar. Now, in my personal opinion, I definitely will not be eating Subway after finding out these results, but a lot of people will still eat Subway, but due to the cost of living crisis, it is getting more and more expensive, the reports have found. So people, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Would you still eat Subway after finding out that the bread is technically a cake or confectionery? I don't think I'm going to eat it anymore after finding out.
I stopped eating Subways when they stopped doing the $5 footlongs. After that, there was no point. I stopped eating Subways. That had to be years ago.
Hello? Who's there? Who is it? I know you're out there.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah. Scared. Oh my god. What's that? What's that?
Who's there? Sorry, come in, get inside! Get inside! Get inside! Sorry, go lock the doors, go lock the doors! Go to the front door! Go to the front door! And lock that door! Lock that door. Sally, get to your room. I think whatever it was.
Yo. Better call the cops.
forget to follow me for your dose of nightmare fuel.
Have you heard of the 80-year theory? Basically, there's this theory that every 80 years, there's a crucial change that ultimately changes humanity. We're coming up on 2024. 80 years ago was 1944.
Oh, geez.
World War II. 80 years before 1944, 1864 was the Civil War. 80 years before that was 1784, which was the end of the Revolutionary War and America becoming the United States.
Oh boy.
And so he's like, what's going to happen in 2024?
Dude.
If we're sticking to this 80-year theory.
Dude.
But he brought up like AI and stuff. He's like, AI didn't exist.
There's so much. That's got to be the most drastic change out of all the 80s. I just saw on TikTok, there's this girl who's like an orthodontist or something, and she's pretty popular on TikTok. She's verified and everything. She just saw a video of somebody having a product for oral care, and it's her at the bottom.
What?
Using her voice and her face and her body and everything to endorse that product.
What?
How is this?
Yeah.
How is this legal?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
It's gonna get so much worse, and there's no way of stopping it unless you have a full shutdown.
It's too late. AI is in everything.
You're not gonna be able to.
Is there a great difference between the top of the world and the bottom of the world?
There is. Now, the North Pole is the center of an ocean 10,000 feet deep. The South Pole, the center of a plateau 10,000 feet high. The North Polar Sea is surrounded by continents slightly frozen. The Antarctic continent is surrounded by a belt of ice, frozen seas of at least 1,200 miles thick. Now, the South is a plateau. It gets, in some places, 14,000 feet up. I've been over areas about 13,000, and it's a little bit chilly up there. So there's that big difference between the top and bottom of the world. The North really isn't very cold up there on the Arctic Ocean.
Not compared to the South. Admiral Byrd, we often hear it said that our young Americans now aren't as hardy as their forefathers. Do you think that Americans do measure up to the standards, the physical standards and morale standards of the past?
I do. I don't believe that. I think they're just as hardy.
Well, what would you say was the most valuable factor on an expedition? Is it morale, or physical courage, or is it sheer equipment?
Well, I've always thought that loyalty was by far the most important trait. The British told me that when I first went down in 28, that I couldn't possibly get through the winter night without a mutiny if I took more than 20 men. But to serve science, I had to take 42 men. And then I took 56 the next time, and so on. So, and I did find that loyalty was the most important thing during the winter night when it's very hard on your nerves. I think that's right.
That's a very valuable characteristic at any time. Well, thank you very much, Admiral Byrd.
They don't want you to know why some cats have slit eyes.
Check this out, y'all.
They're slitted pupils. Do you know how rare that is in the animal kingdom? Lions do not have slitted pupils. They're round, just like ours. Tigers don't have slitted pupils either, nor do jaguars. Now, this is kind of a weird thing, because I kind of thought that a domesticated house cat came from a big cat at some point down the line. But if they don't have slitted pupils like a house cat does, then what does have slitted pupils? Reptiles. Snakes and alligators have slitted pupils. Not any other cat. Now, in many cultures, ancient reptiles were considered to be kind of a trippy creature that had other abilities and senses. The other thing that's weird is that cats hiss like a snake, and they have slitted pupils like a reptile. They also love to eat mice, as do snakes. Now, we know how much the ancient Egyptians loved cats. Cats also have pineal glands. And you notice that cats will do that thing where they'll look in the corner of the room and make a fuss about what seems to be nothing. It is believed that their eyes enable them to see outside of the visible light spectrum that me and you are bound by. Now, it's not known how a cat has half the attributes of a lion and half the attributes of a snake, but perhaps some genetic tinkering went on many years ago in ancient world.
What happens in the dark must come to the light. What you know about the petrified forest in Arizona? Oh my days. So check it. They're saying what caused the petrified forest is that it grew over 200 million years ago near waterways. During floods, water forced the trees to be pulled up from the ground. Over time, the wood from the trees became petrified. So let's take a closer look. Have you ever seen anything like that in your life? That looks more than petrified. That looks crystallized or turned into some type of marble. So let me ask you a question. If this has been naturally petrified, who cooked the wood which has been turned into stone into small pieces? And you know what's funny? Everybody's looking in the front, but nobody's looking in the background at the giant tree stumps. Now I want you to compare these pictures. This is Arizona, and this is a mining site. Arizona, this is a mining site. And again, Arizona, and again, this is a mining site. So basically what I'm trying to say is sometime in the past, somebody cut down these trees with advanced technology which we do not understand and was mining for resources. The question is, who?
The following video is terrifying. Something is drawing this man into the woods. Now, he's about 150 yards in. His home is directly behind him, and he's in a remote area in the mountains. This situation has happened before. He said he's heard a baby crying, and that's what pulled him into the woods. While this time around, he hears children. Again, it's a remote area in the mountains. There's nobody out here. There shouldn't be anybody out here with him, much less children playing. But as you listen, you can clearly hear what sounds like a child. Is this some sort of creature or unidentified creature trying to lure him into the woods? Take a look at this footage and tell me what you think.
Listen to this shit. Keep in mind, about 150 yards into a 20-acre wooded area. Listen. There's nothing around. You hear that? That's my dog barking back at my house because he hears it. Y'all still think that shit's a panther? Because I don't. And this is in the middle of the fucking day. I'll be back tonight.
That's it, right there. The owl statue. Old guard. This is old guard on that.
Hidden in plain sight, this place has sparked countless conspiracy theories and chilling tales, but what really happens here?
Oh my god.
Commenters have been quick to share their thoughts. One ominously warns this is where the elite gather to perform rituals, offering sacrifices to Moloch, a dark deity. Another claims, I catered there once. I saw the ritual firsthand. Nothing special, but still unsettling. Some believe it's all a cover, with one stating, this place was designed to distract from where the real gatherings take place. Others note the eerie maintenance of the area, freshly cut grass, carefully preserved structures. And then there are those who compare it to infamous footage of hooded figures and roaring fires. Could the stories of sacrifices and secret meetings truly hold weight? Yet, the questions don't stop. Why is the grass still trimmed if they don't meet here anymore? Asks one commenter. Another points out cryptically, this is the old location. The new one is even more hidden. The most chilling comment reads, people in my family attend this. I was warned never to research it again. Whether it's an elaborate conspiracy or a shadow of its former self, Bohemian Grove continues to draw speculation and fear. What do you think is happening here? Let me know in the comments below.